What is up, ninjas? My name is Sam World, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to bridge the gap between the break and the drop. Now imagine you're in an argument with some guy in your class named Jimmy, Polly, Garrix, Martin, and you're trying to convince them. Now you are the drop, you are always right. Without a drop, there is no track. There's top 10 drops, there's no top 10 breakdowns. So Polly ain't right, but you're still trying to convince him, aka you're still trying to mesh the break to the drop so that it sounds like a completed track rather than just like a break sounds like another track and the drop sounds like another. How do you do that? Well, pretty much you have to reach a common ground with the person in order to at least persuade them in some way or form. Same thing here. When you have a build-up, in order to have that build-up mesh well and pretty much bridge the break and the drop, you're gonna have to have sounds from the breakdown in the build-up and from the drop in the build-up. It could be as simple as having the pad from the break keep playing out as it progresses into the build-up and then slowly filtering in sounds from the drop. Now this is gonna sound kind of okay, but the thing that's gonna seal the deal, aka win that argument, are gonna be the transitional effects that you guys know as downlifters, uplifters, sweeps, impacts, drum builds, and all that good stuff in order to bridge that break to the drop, in order to persuade Polly, Martin to believe in you or whatever the hell you want to make him believe. So what we're going to be doing today, guys, is going into a track I made in a live stream while I was working on the Desolation sound set. You know, your boy always tests those presets out to make sure they're ready to go in your tracks. We did this track, we did the drop, which is very heavy, while the break sounds like the rip off of Deadmau5, but I ain't got no shame, you know. But pretty much we're going to be looking at that track, guys. And as always, if you want to support the channel, you know where to find it at evilsounds.com. This tutorial was requested by one of you guys. I thought it was a pretty good one, so if you guys have any tutorial suggestions, just leave them down in the comments below. Hit like on the ones you agree with, you want to see, and if I can do it, for God hell knows I will. You know what the hell is saying there. But let's get straight into this tutorial, guys. Alright fam, so welcome inside of Ableton. I look red and blue, so that means I'm trustworthy and handsome. Well, that's what people say. Alright guys, so here we're gonna have the breakdown, which again sounds like Deadmau5. It's a ripoff or whatever you want to call it. No shame for me. I like very flowy. Here's a transition. We're gonna get rid of those, we're gonna add those later. So as you can see, the break is just so, the buildup is so. All right, so it's gonna be all Desolation sound set, guys. You can find out at Evil Sounds. But let's get straight with this tutorial, all right? So pretty much here, guys, as you guys saw, we need to bridge that. We need to have the build bridge the break and the drop, because it's like two different worlds, man. The break is all about love and passion, and the drop is just raping stuff. So what we're gonna do here is pretty simple. We're just gonna kind of duplicate this across. Now what we want to use is gonna be the end of this. So we kind of just want this to repeat here. Now, a lot of times, one thing that I will tell you is that if you don't end this on a resolution, aka you don't end it on the root note, on the first chord, on the one, this tends to sound off, because imagine you're hearing a melody like da, 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 and in your head you're going like, okay, what's the rest of it? Da, da, da. You need that da, da at the end of it, so you gotta have that for the transition to work really well, or else people who are listening will be like, oh, there's something missing. All right, so after we have that, we can just duplicate the first part of this and just spread it out like eagle led. So what we're gonna do is just spread this out, duplicate it across. Now the key thing is to duplicate it across, but at the same time we're gonna filter it out, okay? So the build kind of transitions, you're gonna see. So we're gonna group this, call it the break. And the good thing about Ableton is you can group stuff continuously, like, you know, group within a group within a group, so you can't mess anything up. You can just throw all the break groups you have in a big ass group and just filter that whole group. So we're going to use the auto filter for that, which is going to help us in doing that there. And we're just going to kind of start to fade it out as we approach that. So instantly it sounds more fuller. It just sounds like, all right, there's shit going on. Shit's about to go down, fam. All right, so that's kind of like the effect there. It's simple but effective. Again, it's all about the arrangement process. Maybe if we add this resonation, it might sound good too. Homie on the DJ M900. That you know, that DJ with the DJ M900 filter pulling it down. That's what that sounds like. It sounds pretty cool on my book, so I'm gonna leave that. But you do have to automate this on so it doesn't fuck up the rest of your song.
All right, cool. So we have the first part of the break here. Now, keep in mind, I do have effects running, guys. I do have this nice little... And then I do have reverse vocal. I do have this... Like we're at the movies. What's up, IMAX? And a downlifter to help transition that, you know. Here, I didn't really make a video of me recording this just because, you know, I'm just gonna say use the right samples, and a lot of people out there, you know, are always about samples is cheating and whatnot, and all I have to say to those people is it takes a real man to use these samples and arrange them properly. It's just not about grabbing the sample and laying it anywhere. You gotta show it who's boss. Use these samples, bring them together to create something. Here we're creating a transition. As you know, we do have the snare build already going, the long sweep, and we have this endless smile. Getting happy, I don't know why, and it creates like this nice reverb washout effect to it, so it helps again transition into the drop. The break is about again transitioning, but you also don't want it to take away from the drop. Okay, so here on the drop we're gonna have a couple sounds. All right, so what I want to grab is iconic parts on it, so I think these two right here will work. We don't want to give this all away, so that's why we're only going to find this part here and loop that. So this can actually go right there, and we're just going to copy and paste that from the start here. All right, so that's what we're going to do there, and boom, 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 okay? Okay, boom, boom. There we go. So let's check that. Let's take the LFO tool off as well. Don't get lazy with that. Sometimes I hear you guys' tracks with the, you know, going up and down on the build-up. You don't want that. You want this full... And we're gonna do the opposite of what we're doing to the pad and just filter this bad boy in. Now you don't have to start from the bottom and then get to the top real quick. You have to kind of just have it here around 200. All right, you can start kind of like in the middle class, right? So you kind of hear like the boom, and then from there they know what's... Alright, so here it sounds a bit empty, so what I'm going to do is just duplicate this bad boy. Alright, cool. Now, the other thing, too, is the vocal. I hate how this sounds here. It sounds fucking weird, so we're going to get rid of that. So what we can opt to do is if you have a vocal in your song and it ends there, you can always choose to just duplicate this part here. So that's what we're going to be doing. This is going to really help in just getting this to kind of mesh. Again, this was in the break, so we want to kind of use that to transition us into that little... the little drop. It's not little at all, though. So we're going to Ctrl J that, which consolidates it together. Let's just let that happen. All right, and we're gonna pitch that up, and I think we're gonna do it at the halfway mark here, where the thing starts to build up. So we can do it there. Complex Pro on that, so it makes sense. It doesn't sound choppy, and we're just gonna go up to +12 there and bring it back down. Let's check it out. He's getting happy, baby. He knows what's up. He knows the drop's coming. There we go, fam. Now, the snare drum is taking away a lot, so I'm going to lower the volume on it just a tiny bit so that we can hear the dun, dun, dun. All right, let's add a snare, the little fill here. So I did have like this tom fill going, or somewhere around here. Crashy, up and down. You're somewhere. Sis drum. There we go. So we have this 80s tom going here. He's gonna put that bad boy there and just do a simple kind of, you know, tom or I can feel it coming in the air tonight guy. So we're gonna do that there. Doon, doon. And then here maybe, and then just pitch it down here. That's what I like about the Ableton sampler. We can do that with it. So we can just. All right, so that sounds a bit choppy. So what we're gonna do is just give it. All right, there we go, fam. There we go. So again, as you can see, we're just bridging that gap, utilizing everything. Endless Smile is getting happy as we do that. That means we're doing something right. And that's how we bridge the gap, guys. You have to find ways to do it. So you find things in your break that you can use. Usually a pad or like a melody can keep repeating just the first part of it. Like the ARP, it's just but just see how it kind of starts to fade out. That's what we want. So ideally, this is what's going on, but then we have all the other effects going on. But this really... How does that sound so epic? Look at that. Nothing, just that. All right, so there we're going to get rid of that guy. Okay, here I feel like we can put like a little crash or like an impact, so we can try putting this bad boy there and see if that works. It might work. We don't know until we try it. So there we go. That's bad right there. I'm gonna lower volume on it a little. All right, hopefully the damn LFO activated. All right, cool. But as you guys can see, that's how we go about in creating that build and bridging that build. You know, at the end of the day, this tutorial should have just been like, yo, guys, just have sounds from the drop in the break and sounds from the break, sounds from the drop in the build, sounds from the break in the build, and then just flow smoothly through them, mix it together with effects, put a little bit of the Endless Smile clown, and you are good to go on it. But again, it's all about the right sample selection. It's all about the right effect selection. It doesn't mean you can just throw whatever the hell you want in the build up. It means you have to do it. It looks simple, but it takes a little bit of work for sure, because there are going to be songs where it's a little bit more difficult to achieve this. But again, it's all the same. It's going to be the same process. You need something that's going to bridge the gap. You need correlation that will create that kind of mesh. So hopefully you guys found this tutorial helpful. Hopefully you guys like Hyper SemWorld. And if you guys have tutorial suggestions, leave them down in the comments. If you want to support the channel, evilsounds.com. And I'll see you guys next time. You guys take care. Peace out.